Stop scrolling through those expensive retail sites. Now we all know the pain of needing a fresh kit, but seeing those crazy high prices. Well, there's a smarter way to support your team. Welcome to okjersey.com. The quality speaks for itself. Look at the detail on these designs, whether it's the latest from Manchester City or a classic City kit. You can get any jersey in every size you need, and yes, you can fully customise it with your name, your number, or your favourite legends details, from the Premier League present to EPL retro. If you're looking for it, it's here, and it's always for the best price. Ready to save big? Head to okjersey.com now and use code NAF at checkout. That's code NAF to score an extra 8% off your entire order. Cheers.
Fabio, shit. Doku, shit.
Morning, people. Morning. Welcome back to We Are the South Stand. In fact, let me move this around a little bit, where we have our resident grumpy old man, Alan, who is up to his usual tricks, which I'll tell you about in a little while. And we're joined by two new guests today. So remember, people, we keep saying to email in if you're interested in getting in and sharing your view. And we've got two new guests today, two great new guests. We've got Liu from over in Trinidad and Tobago. What are you saying, bro? You good?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me.
And actually, do you know what, Alan, what's the time where you are?
It's 10 o'clock at night.
Ah, right, okay. Right, okay. 6 in the morning in Trinidad. So
well, 7 now.
Oh, seven now. And we've got Yosef. What are you saying, bro? You good from
yeah, I'm good.
Beyond the Press? Is that right?
Break the press.
Well, listen, we are in another cup final. Does anyone know the stat of how many cup finals it is we've been in now in the how many trips to Wembley it's been in the last 15 years? It's insane.
I think it is 15 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's every single season, right? Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a stat? Am I making that up, or is that a stat?
No, I heard that one as well, yeah.
Yeah, we've been to Wembley every year for... But it is mad. It is mad. But listen, a game that I don't know if any of you guys were watching the show last night, yesterday afternoon. Alan, did you watch it?
Yes, did.
Did you enjoy it?
I was laughing most of the way through.
Right, it's pretty heated, right? It's pretty heated.
Listen. It got very heated, especially when Pulpy was giving it some stick. With you were arguing. You weren't accepting what he was saying.
But the thing is with Pulpy, right? Me and Pulpy can argue and kind of both be laughing at the same time. Like I've
just been chatting to him on this. I'm texting him about it.
But I can't lie. Pulpy messaged me at 7:15 saying, for fuck's sake, he's gone and dropped Haaland after we'd had a massive debate.
I know.
And then when Marmush scored after what was it, like 5 or 10 minutes, I sent him the eyes and said, bro.
I know.
You know what? I was nervous before that game. I was very nervous. But look, we made it kind of done and dusted in the first half, right?
I was in the pub having some pub dinner tonight with Dave, a mate who's from Manchester, as you know.
I swear he came back.
He came back and he's come back again.
Okay.
He's come back again. He flirts between the two. So anyway,
he can give me his house in Manchester if he wants.
Eh?
He can give me his house in Manchester if he wants.
I know, yeah. So,
I'll look after it for him.
While he's away, yeah, exactly. It's in Whitefield, so I'll ask him for you. We were discussing, and he said we just can't put teams to bed. In other words, I think it's a case of we were 3-0 up half time, but second half we came out as if we didn't have to try, and I thought Newcastle were all over us for a while, and our defence was. What I don't get is
right. Just to break down what Alan yesterday. So
Trafford legend
at 9:10, that would have been the start of the second half.
Yeah.
Alan messages me, we're gonna lose 4-3, you watch.
Crazy.
Our defence is awful. We are shit at the back. Is it not fair to? I mean, look, I do hear what you're saying. Second half, we certainly weren't as good as But is it not fair to say that, like in the first half, when it was Ake and Kuzanov, we looked a lot better than when it was Kuzanov and Maxaline.
Can I stop you there? They were through on goal twice, and Trafford saved us twice.
Sorry. What's that got to do with the price of bread? Right. I didn't. No, it hasn't. Hold on, Alan. I said, were we better in the first half than the second half? Just to say they had 2 shots in the first half doesn't answer my question. Were we better in the first?
Shots were clean through.
No, we were better. We were better, 100%.
Oh, Alan, answer my damn question. Were we better in the first half defensively than the second half?
Yeah, we were okay.
Right. Is it not fair to say that? Okay, when Max joined us, we all thought Max was, with the first couple of games he came in and his confidence on the ball looked really, really good. But at the end of the day, like the truth be told, and he's a kid, and his experiences at Watford in the Championship, not in the Premier League. Now, it probably is a reminder to us sometimes just to calm down, not get carried away too early. But it does seem to be a thing that when Max is coming on in recent weeks, we're not looking as good. Now, I actually think Ake, the last couple of games, has been all right. I think Ake's been quite good.
Yeah, yes. To ask you a question, why, when Elaine came on, why did we just drop off about 5 to 10 yards and to stop the ball going behind us all the time?
Okay, so let me answer a question with something that you said on Monday. So on Monday, you were questioning why we're changing the style we play, the style that has always worked so well for us, that Pep Guardiola plays by. Why are we changing it now, right? So I'm going to use exactly what you said back on you. Why should we change things? That it's the way Pep plays.
It is the way Pep plays, but unfortunately, when you've got a young 17, 18-year-old kid who's not experienced, maybe we have to just drop back a little bit.
Alan, you're getting good at this. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. I do think, but I just want, because at the moment there is still obviously talk about our defence. It's like it's always in the second half. We have to for all the people out there that have told me that Kuzanov is better than Ruben Diaz, right? And I don't know. I've never spoke with Josef. I've never spoke with anyone here before about this, right? But when we have this Ruben Diaz Kuzanov conversation, without Ruben Diaz, do people generally see that we're missing a leader?
Yeah, 100% we are.
It's apparent, right, Lee?
Yeah.
It is. It's obvious.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kusanov is brilliant. I think he's a great player. He's just a bit raw, so sometimes goes in a bit rash. His decision making is bad.
I'm just going to stop you there. I'm just going to start. I fucking love your accent. It's fantastic. West Indian accent. It's fucking it really is.
Hey, Alan, don't start coming on streams with dreads on and putting the accent on. Please do not do it ever.
Mate, it's taking me back to my cricket days when I was playing with a lot of West Indian lads. And honestly, their accent is fantastic. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, I just think, he's still a bit raw, a bit rash. I'm concerned most games that sometimes he's going to get sent off. But I still think that he's a really, really good centre-back.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think what keeps him back... Sorry.
No, carry on.
No, I think what keeps him back is just that lack of experience at this level in the Premier League. I mean, this is probably the longest run of games we've seen from him in that regard. When he came in, it was a bit the shaky start that he had against Chelsea that everybody kind of sensationalized.
Bro, you know what?
People still talk about that.
Hey, bro, yesterday they started talking about going. Yeah, his start to his career at City was quite dodgy. I'm thinking, what, his first 5 minutes? It was his first 5 minutes, but they still want to go on about that damn mistake against Chelsea. But now, do you know what? And I'm not even. I would be happy with Ruben Diaz and Kuzanov. I'd be happy with Mark Gahey and Kuzanov. For me, it's like of the play, like Kuznov has carried us. If I'm being honest, and I look at us through this period defensively where we haven't had Diaz and we haven't had Vardiol, I actually think Kuznov had really, really stepped up. Especially, I love him to bits, but I just do think like at the moment, it's not even just about our defense, because I'm thinking, who is our leader on the pitch, right? And I'm going to be honest, we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but at the moment, I think Rodri's got a lot more stuff to concentrate on in his game than being the leader. Like at the moment, I'll be honest with you, Ruben Diaz for me is our leader, and like I've probably always favoured Ruben Diaz as captain over Rodri anyway. But I think at the moment we're missing him that little bit, and I mean, I hope we've got him back for Liverpool. I think Ruben Diaz.
I agree. I agree 100%.
What with captain and Liverpool?
Yeah, well, he needs to play.
I think
he's
so.
He's our Vincent Kompany at the back of the leader.
Yeah, he is. He is. I've always found it mad when people do the Kuznov is better than Ruben Diaz. Look, I actually do think that Kuznov's ceiling, might be higher, right? Because he does have more to his game than Ruben Diaz, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he's only 20 or 21. But to say that someone that's got a lot of promise is better than someone that's won the Premier League 4 times as our main centre. Like, he's been our main centre-back every season, right? Yeah. Since he's joined, he is our main centre-back. Usually, when our defence doesn't look as good, it's usually because the centre-back partnering Ruben Diaz is changing every other week, right? And he's not got that consistency. When it was consistent with him and John Stones, it worked a treat. So, but look, I think probably we need to start off with Marmush. Right. Joseph, did Marmush have a good game?
100%. I mean,
How good?
If you give it out of 10, like maybe nearly a 10, maybe nearly a 9. I think it was amazing, that game. 100%. I think, look, before the game, there was a lot of talk, especially in the live stream yesterday, about Haaland and Marmush who should start in this game. And I think that we saw in the first leg against Newcastle that Marmush offers something very different to what Haaland offers. That sharpness, the movement. And I don't even for that first goal, people talk about it as a lucky finish, it bounced off him. But the 1-2 with Reijnders, it happened the entire game, him and Reijnders. The ball in behind, he gets the chance, and whether he finishes it scrappy or he scores a worldie, the ball's in the net.
Do you know what the maddest thing is, right? Is that like one of his touches for the goal was very similar to I think he had one touch too many against Wolves as well, and he ended up like basically he plays the ball too close to the goalkeeper, right?
Yeah.
But weirdly, it helped him, like because if he hadn't have done that, right, he might have had a shot and maybe overhit it or whatever. Yeah. But because it was so close to the goalkeeper, it actually meant that rebound was always going to happen. And look, I agree with you. It's Haaland's it's like almost like, is Marmush more of a poacher than Haaland is?
I think it's so similar. Like, I think maybe the players aren't similar, but it's so similar to when we had Alvarez, I think. Like, I think the way how Alvarez, when he came in, especially in the 23-24 season when Haaland was injured and we played against Liverpool, Alvarez is the guy that comes on and link up play, but he's also such a good finisher. I think Marmush has got that in him, and people to forget that last season, at the end of the season, when we were in a top 4 race, whatever, and at the end of the season, he had to pick up a lot of goals. Marmush scored a lot of big goals for us from, and of course, people remember the Bournemouth goal.
Bournemouth one,
yeah, come on, man. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Even goal. Last season, that Newcastle game at home was a very important game, right? And I remember going into it a little bit worried, thinking, do you know what? This Newcastle team could cause us some problems. And Marmoush's hat-trick in 20 minutes? Yeah. That game, that was massive. That was massive for our Champions League push last season. And of course the Bournemouth one. The Bournemouth one. Without that, then So you're right. I don't know. It's weird with Marmush because he's not clinical, right? He isn't clinical, but he can also bag a beautiful goal from he'll let it off. And the one thing that I quite like with Marmush is he 1 or 2 touches and he gets the ball out of his feet, which is something we used to get taught when we were younger. if you don't shoot, you don't get those rebounds. You don't get those deflections if you don't shoot. And how many times this season has the frustration been that we're not shooting?
It's been too many times. I mean, especially even early on the season when we were passing around the edge of the box and Ruben Diaz is the one that has to shoot, or other centre backs, other people out of position has to take the shot. Marmush, I think, has the ability that even maybe he's not clinical, maybe he's not like Alvarez or any of the other old strikers, but he can shoot. He has the range. He can shoot from anywhere and potentially score.
Yeah. And the other thing with him is the press.
I think he links play better than Haaland.
100%.
Yes.
But
He does.
Hold on. Let me. The term link play is interesting because I've said this on the last couple of shows. I actually think in the last few games, Haaland's link-up play has been good, but his finishing hasn't, right? I actually think Haaland's link-up play is okay, but I don't think it looks as fluid, right? It doesn't look as fluid on the eye.
It's not fast.
Yeah. It's not. Well, it's very clear that front three of Semenyo, Marmoush, and Reijnders, right, was fluid and fast. Yeah. And also what added to that yesterday was, I do think, and I know I'm not going to say Phil Foden had a good game yesterday, right? Because I don't want to instantly start overhyping him, but I do believe that Phil Foden in midfield allows the ball to move a lot faster than when it's Bernardo or Rodri at the moment. At the moment, that Foden is so. I think Foden yesterday is very easy, Patrick, for you to say Foden was poor, as you have. I don't think he was poor. I think Foden contributed to the overall fluidity of the team. He's certainly not a standout, so I don't want it to become a let's glaze Foden thing. But I think Foden did have a contribution in the way we played yesterday because he does move the ball. We've got to remember, Foden is the quickest turner on the ball we have in our team, right? Which allows us to move the ball quicker. Whereas players like, Rodri at the moment, Rodri's turning is really slow, man. Like it's really, and he's turning himself up. Yesterday, the other one for me, I don't know if any of you guys noticed this. Alan, you probably did. Núñez was trying to do a bit too much yesterday.
I thought second half, quite a few of them, not just Núñez, quite a few dwelled on the ball far too long.
Yeah,
and didn't pass it. You know, they were Dave described it well, dicking about too much with it. Yeah, and you know, I watched the game obviously, and I was saying stop dicking about with it and move the ball quicker.
In the second half, right? In the second half, not in the first half. And Núñez kept doing this thing, and this isn't the first game I've seen Núñez do it, right? Sometimes Núñez does something really nice, beats a player, but then for some reason he turns back into traffic. And it's like, just let the ball off. I don't understand why you're going backwards, like, because you've just beat a man really well, driven past, got away from them, and then you turn back to them, and they just like we saw it. It
wasn't just Núñez. We're playing backwards rather than forwards.
Rodri definitely does it. Rodri's been doing it.
It's happened. There was one case where we had, I think it was a corner, and we were ended up after about 15 passes back with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times this season.
Yeah, and dicking about when we have them under pressure, and we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves, and I don't know what is a negative thought, or I don't know what it is. We get very lethargic when we try and slow the game down. We don't have players.
We haven't got the players. This is the thing. And maybe you could say that usually your Bernardos, your Rodris, they are the players that you can slow the game down. But at the moment, you know, Rodri's, and I said this yesterday, I don't know where I stand on the Rodri thing, because I know that to get Rodri back to his best, we have to keep playing him, right? Because at the moment, up until probably about 3 weeks ago, it was all about Rodri getting his fitness back, right? And proving that his body can stand the 90 minutes. Whereas now I feel like right now, Rodri can start focusing on getting his match fitness back, like getting his range of passing back, getting like At the moment, Rodri looks a bit like he did first season. Remember first season, Rodri would get the ball and he'd take way too long to turn, and Rodri's doing that at the moment. Now that's is getting used to the speed of the game again. And if we want Rodri to get back to the kind of levels we know he can be at, we have to play him through this. But I kind of wanted to speak on this. For me, Gonzalez is like, if you go and look at kind of the run of games we had, our form did dip when Gonzalez was not about. And I watched 100%. Yesterday, Gonzalez and I'm kind of getting now why O'Reilly is being played in midfield, because Gonzalez and O'Reilly together are giving us a lot more of a physical element.
That's it. 100%. Yeah. And that's one thing that that Rodri lacks to me. And actually, when he came back, I can't remember which game it was. Was it against Chelsea? Did Rodri play that game? I can't remember. Some game he came back, and I actually saw him. He had a really good game, and his physicality was showing. And I was like, oh well, Rodri has added this to his game, and that would make him like a superior CDM to anybody else in the world if he wasn't already.
There's been a few of them. When he first came back, I agree with you. There was little moments where you were just like, you can see, because his positioning, his reading of the game is so good. But I look at O'Reilly, and I'm kind of thinking this O'Reilly and Gonzalez midfield, right? They're both about 6'1", 6'2", possibly more. You even watching it on TV, you can see they're both physically bigger than a lot of other players, right?
Yeah.
And also with O'Reilly has that turn in him and has that driving with the ball, right? And then I don't know, I'm 6'4". Is that how big? Well, I know O'Reilly's probably 6'4". Surely Gonzalez can't be 6'4". But I think those two as a midfield, I'm starting to see what. And the other beautiful thing with O'Reilly is that that when Ait-Nour is going further forward, O'Reilly is, whether it be slotting in as a yesterday, he was slotting in as a centre back at one point.
He's covering him quite well.
Yeah, he knows how to slot in as a defender. I don't know. I'm interested. Martin messaged me and said that he thinks that Pep maybe is trying to turn Foden into the new Bernardo Silva, right?
Maybe.
I mean, I think he's doing that a lot this season, though. Like, even in our good form when we had it in November, December, Foden was the one playing the apes, if you want to say so.
Yeah, he was. The Everton game's a great example of that. The Everton game was one where he was definitely doing that.
I think it was a lot better yesterday, Foden, than the previous games.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and the thing is, we can say Foden looks better than previous games without it meaning Foden was one of our best players on the pitch. He wasn't. Reijnders was a lot better than Foden. Gonzalez was better than Foden. Marmush was better than. There was a lot of players on the pitch that were better than Foden. But for me, I do hear what people are saying that there's been recent games.
Say Trafford was.
Brilliant. Oh, bro, we'll get onto Trafford. Listen, Trafford's not going to be thrown in here. We need to really talk about Trafford because that performance was brilliant. But no, I think O'Reilly is such an interesting one for me because I like how he's playing in midfield, but at the same time, I'm worried, right, that can we do that after the summer? Because I feel like if we turn him into a midfielder before the summer, there's a good chance that he's not going to fucking go to the World Cup, right?
I don't want him to go to the World Cup.
Oh, I do. I think he will cook. I think him and Gahey on the left side of City's defence could absolutely cook. But if we keep playing... I
don't want any City player playing too many games so they can come back fresh the season.
Bro, it's a World Cup. Come on, man. You're trying to take...
Come on, man.
You're trying to take a World Cup away from a young kid. Like, what are we doing here, Alan?
I'm joking. You know what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah. No, I just wonder that will Tuchel continue to see him as a left back if we keep playing him in midfield? And do that after, give him the World Cup, yeah? Because I think he'll cook for us. O'Reilly's not as tall as you think, someone's saying. What, the hair? I hear what you're saying. But no, Liu, who stood out to you yesterday? Because for me, it was Gonzalez.
Yeah, he was good in the midfield. Actually, I was going to say Trafford stood out to me in terms of, what's on our pitch, because I think...
It is true. He was quality yesterday.
Yeah. I think, and I told somebody,
He was good with his feet. He was good with his feet, and he was good with his hands.
Yeah, I told somebody in the group chat, there were a couple of times when, Newcastle were in on goal, and he does this thing where he comes out, makes himself big, and, makes the save. And I was like, I think he's learning from Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Despite, because when we signed Trafford, everybody was like, okay, Trafford is our number one. And then the Donnarumma signing came, and Trafford was probably like, all right, yeah, that's the end of my season. But actually, I think Pep has done really well to, keep him involved. And I think Donnarumma being in the club will only help Trafford to get, better and better and better. So I think really he was my standout player yesterday, apart from obviously, Marmush, which was the obvious one.
Do you know, I agree with you. I think he is actually like, it's little things like there was one or two moments where he went long instead of trying to play out from the back, which is showing he's learning. But also, I do think there was one save where he came out and made himself so big, and it was Donnarumma-esque, right?
Yeah,
It's Donnarumma-esque, and a couple of the saves he made, I think he was really, really good. Now, I had a Newcastle fan after the first leg tell me that they would not take Trafford, right? And I was like, I'm telling you now, after that game, like they'll be looking at him even more.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see what happens with Trafford, because obviously Donnarumma came out, I think, or Donnarumma's agent came out the other week and said that maybe in the future, if an opportunity back in Italy became available, who knows, right? Now, that's what agents do. They always do that. They always link players back to where they're from. But I do think there probably is some truth in it, that I don't think Donnarumma's going to be here till the end of his career, right? Now, if you're Trafford, do you rush it this summer, or do you actually think, do you know what? Yeah, I mean, especially imagine if we win the Carabao Cup, right? Trafford's just won a trophy himself as the goalkeeper, right? He's probably going to be played in the FA Cup. What? I mean, Alan, I think you'd say Trafford should go, right?
Well, listen, he's in the England squad. He wants to maintain that to go to the World Cup, right? I think if you look at it on his point of view rather than our selfish point of view, okay, he needs to play first team football in the Premier League. And I think if you look at all the other teams in the Premier League, there's not so many who wouldn't get in. There's not so many teams
I think you're right.
Would not get in.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I'll be honest with you. Yes, he could learn off Donnarumma, but I think Donnarumma can also learn off him with his feet, because Trafford is better with his feet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean, I don't think Donnarumma is that bad.
Donnarumma from the start of the season, though, yeah.
I've never said that Donnarumma is bad with his feet, but I'll tell you something, Trafford's better.
No, you're right.
Yeah, he is. I agree with you. Donnarumma will probably be. That's the whole thing of goalkeepers have their own little kind of group, didn't they? We saw with Edison and Carson how close goalkeepers become. So I think with Donnarumma and Trafford, I don't know. It's interesting. I do agree. Trafford is good enough to be a Premier League starter. And I mean, if you're Tuchel and you're watching that game last night, I think. I'm definitely taking him, but the weird thing is, if you were Tuchel, right, and you obviously Tuchel and the goalkeeping scouts, and the goalkeeping coaches, they will watch every single Trafford game, right? Yeah. So you could watch Nick Pope. I think Nick Pope will probably end up being the England number one just for this last tournament, right? Yeah. But apart from that, if you're watching any other England goalkeeper and you watch them off across 30 games, then you watch Trafford across 10 games, you're still taking Trafford for me. Because you're going, all right, every time this player plays, he's playing to a good level, right? Yeah. The rest of them are having one good week, one bad week. So for me...
He does need to move. He does need to move.
I mean, for Trafford's sake, if Trafford wants to make the England squad like on a guarantee, he does have to move in... somewhere.
Sorry, I hear it. Sorry, I just said Pope, didn't I? I meant Pickford.
Pickford, yeah.
I meant definitely not Pope. Definitely not Pope. I meant Pickford. No, I thought Trafford was good. What about Aït-Nouri?
He did okay. He did
I
all
thought
right.
Aït-Nouri was good. I think Aït-Nouri.
He's quick.
But his feet are insanely quick. I think Aït-Nouri is also part of the reason why we're moving the ball quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Aït-Nouri is contributing to that as well.
Yeah.
But I just think it's like a double-ended sword with Aït-Nouri, don't you think? Like, and it's like you, of course, going forward, Aït-Nouri will give you something, but on the defensive side, I don't know. I just feel like whenever Aït-Nouri is starting at left back, that we do open up so much more for the opposition team.
Yeah, he's more of a spot on. He is more of a wing back than a full back. So I just thought of a mint chant for him as well. Oh, what's the story, Ryan Aït-Nouri? Yeah. Works mint. Yeah, I think Aït-Nouri it's interesting. I do like how when Aït-Nouri goes forward with O'Reilly, we now have a midfielder, an 8 that knows how to, and that's so important. If you go and look at, if you look at City, even if you look at Liverpool with Trent as an example, right? When Trent was allowed to go forward and do whatever the hell he wanted because he knew that he had Milner, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, any of them knew how to cover him, right?
Yeah.
Trent absolutely cooked. And I feel like with Aït-Nouri, to get the best out of Aït-Nouri, because I feel like at the moment when he defends, he's having to put so much effort in. He's having to concentrate.
He makes it look hard work.
Yeah, because you can know that that's not his natural game, right?
Yeah.
So to have O'Reilly know how to cover him, and also you've got to think that, all right, yesterday it was Max Aline, but moving forward, it's going to be Vardiol or it's going to be Mark Gahey covering Aït-Nouri along with potentially an O'Reilly. All of a sudden, it then allows Aït-Nouri to and the nice thing with Aït-Nouri is he can go down the wing, but he can also come in the middle as well. He can invert as well. So I don't know. I think Aït-Nouri is quite important, and you can see him and Cherki have got that little link up as well. You can see they're on the same wavelength. So let's move on to the people. There's 80 in here. I know a lot of people on a Thursday morning watch LB, but I also know that a lot of you will be watching this on playback after LB's show. So please, if you're watching this on playback, and if you are watching it live, please make sure you do hit the like button and get involved in the comments. Right.
I've just sent you a link on your phone.
What is it? What is it, Alan?
Look, the comment I've made.
All right. So you can't send me this, right? And now not tell me where this has come from. So, ladies and gentlemen, Alan has just sent me a message saying Khaldoon is off to Spain to meet with a certain Spanish manager, and then he's put a picture of Xavi Alonso. Okay. So, Alan, what's your source?
A certain person that we both know.
Oh. Well, hold on. No, you need to do better than that. Is he in the chat?
I've not seen him in the chat today.
It's not Martin, is it?
No.
Right. Yeah. So, okay, interesting. Well, I didn't want to move on to that, for God's sake. Let me actually. Do you know what? We have 2 new guests in the house, so we'll ask them, guys. What's your take on this whole Pep thing? Then.
I find it a bit disrespectful, man. Don't you feel it's a bit disrespectful? Like, I mean, I was watching it from, I think it was Patrick the one that was very Pep out, if you want to call it Pep out. And don't you think it's a bit disrespectful? Like, I don't know, the way we're talking about Pep in, Pep out, like, it feels like we're talking about Amram or something, or like Ten Hag. Does it not feel like we're not talking about one of the best managers?
Pep's going nowhere for a year and a half. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, this is the truth. I actually went and looked at some of what the journalist that was talking about yesterday, right? And he's basically said Pep isn't going anywhere. Pep isn't going anywhere until till his contract is done. right?
Correct.
And that when he does go somewhere, it will be Khaldoon and Viana that are involved in the hiring of a new manager. And I kind of thought, is that even news? I mean, you're telling us that our chairman and our fucking director of football are going to be involved in finding our next manager. Like, come on. Journalism. Like, no shit, Sherlock. Fucking hell. I personally, and I do think that if, like, none of us know, I think the key with Pep is, I don't even think Pep necessarily knows in his own head, right, if he's going to stay or go, right? So if he doesn't know, all we can go with is the facts, right? And the facts we have is that when Pep signs a contract, he sticks to it. He's never broke a contract before. So for me, I do think Pep will stay till the contract is done. But I don't think he'll sign an extension. I personally, it's weird. There's someone speaking in the comments about I mentioned yesterday about the Pep speaking on the humanity side of things, and I get this real feeling from Pep, right? Because a few years back, if Pep got asked a question by a journalist about football, you could see Pep come alive, right? It was like, at last, you're not asking me about transfers. You're not asking me about my future. You're asking me about football and tactics. And you'd watch him. The way when that journalist asked him about, about Palestine, about Sudan, about Ukraine, the way Pep came alive and it looked like, I don't know if maybe Pep is ready to have a break from football and maybe do something else. But I don't think he'll go until, and I do agree, I think this Pep out thing is so disrespectful. But on the same note, it could be Pep that makes that decision, right? It could be, like we're all seeing it as we are like people are trying to force Pep out, and that's totally wrong, right? But it could be a point if the board has a conversation with Pep and Pep says, "Look, do you know what? I know I've signed a 1.5-year contract, but I'm just not in it anymore. Like, I just feel, then I actually do believe for the good of Manchester City, it probably would be the right thing for Pep to go in the summer. Because if Pep turns round to the board and says, look, I know I've got a year left, I'm really not, like, my mind's not in football anymore, it would be very silly for the board to go, look, you got to see out your contract, right? The board should go, okay, do you know what? Let's see what we can do here. And I think this is what the board maybe are doing at the moment. They're preparing themselves for that conversation with Pep, because they're going to give Pep till the end of the season.
Well, at the same point, there's no harm in sounding out managers who they rate.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well.
They're not making any decisions, are they?
Yeah. And ultimately, this is a mad thing, because me and Nitin disagree massively, and people will say, but what he's saying here is spot on, right? Football is serious business, Daps. If your focus is not 1,000%, you're cooked, right?
Yep.
If his focus is on, like, that's a Nitin opinion thing, but if his focus ultimately is not on football, we can't let the club be run by such an individual. And I do agree with that for the good of the club, if Pep's focus is no longer on the football side of things, then it's right for the football club to actually probably find a way to part ways. And then the question, and this is where I will continue to have this question of what managers are out there. So, Liu, who, if Pep was to go, because it was the right time, who would you go for?
Yeah, so that was my concern when people started this whole Pep out agenda and these kind of things. I saw it as a disrespect, as you guys said, when it was fans were forcing him out. But I believe in the natural transition of football. If it's time for Pep to leave, it's time for him to leave. I think right now we have a lot of young players, a lot of exciting players, and we need that freshness soon. That's not for me to say Pep should leave tomorrow or anything like that. But I think we need something fresh, and especially the way that, we tried to change our football this season, where we don't control games as much as we used to. I don't think Pep likes that. I think he's still adjusting to the whole idea of that.
Oh, I'm with you. That's exactly where I am. I feel like Pep Linders has been, and it makes me think, Pep Linders, like, who appointed Pep Linders? Was it Viana decision, right? If it was a Viana, right? We don't know that. No? I think Pep had a say, 100%. Yeah. Look, I think in most things, the manager always has a say. Yeah, there's no way Viana at this football club like does things without speaking with Pep. But if you look at it, right, and you look at the players that we've bought, and you look at the appointment of Pep Linders as a coach, that could be a way of Viana gently and Khaldoon agreeing. Look, if we bring in a coach that plays a slightly different style of football to Pep, we're not undermining Pep. We're just giving him another tool and going, Pep, maybe you might want to have a go with the way this guy does it. But you look at even the signings we've made, I don't think a lot of these signings are necessarily Pep signings.
No.
Right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're also planning for the future. Like, these signings are like not just Pep players, they're like players that, if let's say in the future, who knows, Company, Maresca, anybody on the shortlist comes in, they can also make do with it.
Company is the dream. Company is the dream, but I don't think he's ready yet. Not yet.
I feel like that is it, and that is, by the way, how it should be done. Because Martin and I were speaking off air yesterday, right? And we were saying about if Pep was to sign another contract extension, then it can't be a 1 year extension, right? It has to be a 3-4 year thing, right? And I'm not saying this is what I would do, but ultimately, because we are changing as a football club, we are bringing in new, and if we can't have, like, we have to have tools that any manager can pick up. Otherwise, what happens is we have a manager that comes in and goes, "Nah, I don't like any of them. I want to play a different way." And then we start becoming like Man United, where you've just got a squad of players that are from the past 5 managers.
Yeah.
So,
like I said yesterday, like I said a couple of days ago, Daps, we brought in 14 new players into the club.
Yeah.
Right. And only 3 of those 14 have actually won a trophy before elsewhere. And if you remember when Pep first started, as you rightly said yesterday, when Pep first started at City, it took him 1.5 years to get them used to the way that they should play and positionally where they need to be when we haven't got the ball. Okay. Now, them players that we've got are still learning that. And Pep's way of playing is quite confusing when you've never played under that structure before. You know, you 2 young lads are coming in, you know, towards the end of Pep's reign. You know, but when
how do you know they've come in towards the end of Pep's reign?
They're only young. They're young lads, right? Now, Pep's been there what, 9 years.
They're both.
All right. How old are you? 9 years.
They are both definitely. They are both definitely old. They're both older than 16.
Right.
Yeah.
How old are you? How old are you guys now?
I'm 21.
I'll be 27.
So
21 and 27, bro. So Alan, like, Pep's been here 10 years, not 20 years, bro.
So feels like 20.
It's a compliment. It's a compliment. He's saying you look good for your age, right?
Yeah.
Right, fine. But they haven't been what we've been through. They haven't been what we've been through.
Yeah, but that wasn't
Pep.
Pep. Yeah, but you said Pep through Pep. Pep's only been here 10 years, bro. Pep was not there for Gillingham.
I know. So anyway, but I think it just takes time for the players with ball to get to that level. And you've quite rightly said yesterday, you can't expect players that have just come in as transitions happening and the rebuild's coming, just to hit the ground running and just change it and carry on just like that. No way, it's impossible.
Yeah,
that's impossible.
Right, so Vincent Kompany's the dream, right? But I noticed you said that you don't think he's. When you say you don't think he's ready, do you feel he's not ready as a manager, or do you feel that he wants to do a bit more at Bayern before he leaves?
Yeah, I think he wants to prove himself. I don't think he's really proven himself at that high level. Yes, he went and he won the Bundesliga, which is you know, some people underrate that, but I mean, to win a league anywhere is an impressive thing, especially as a young manager. But I still feel like, you know, he would feel as if he wants to almost fill Pep's boots, which is near impossible. Yeah. But I don't think he's achieved that status yet of really good manager, if that makes sense.
See, I know that. So I believe it was a few years back. Steve had a conversation with Vinny's. Steve knows Vinny's missus. Had a conversation with her, and he said, "Well, do you think he'll ever manage City?" And she said, "That's his dream." She said, "But he won't manage Manchester City till he knows that he is good enough." Right? She said, because the last thing, and she said, of course, we want to end up back in Manchester. Right? That's where our family's from and whatever. He loves the club. But he also never wants to fall, he never wants to let the club down. He doesn't want that Frank Lampard type thing at Chelsea. Where and I'll be honest with you, from what I've seen over the last couple of years, with whether it be Kyle Walker, whether it be Edison, whether it be Bernardo Silva, or whether it now be Pep, we've seen that there's that some of our fan base are willing to turn on legends, right? I'm not saying whether that. I mean, ultimately, the way you do it is whether it's right or wrong or not, right? But I think because of that, that's where I am with Vinny as well. I said, for me to want Vinny at Manchester City, I need to see back-to-back Bundesligas, and I need to see a significant Champions League run, right? Yep. I'm not going to say you must win the Champions League, because for me, when people used to say City must win the Champions League this season, that tournament is not a tournament that you can just go, yep, I'm a mint manager, I'm going to win it. But I need to see Bayern reaching the latter stages under Vincent Kompany. And then I feel he's ready. Now, I don't know why, but me personally, I'm not on the Alonso hype.
Yeah, but I was going to say that as well. Do you think that Vini is that far behind Alonso and Maresca? Do you think that Maresca and Alonso are more ready than Vincent Kompany?
I'm definitely not on the Maresca hype, right? I'm Maresca one. The Maresca one. Look, and by the way, I'm not saying Maresca's a bad manager. I actually think the pool of managers that we're putting together, and I also, this is not this pool of managers thing is not a recent thing.
No,
We've been doing this for years, and Pep's even spoke about it. Said Man City always have a short list. The short list is often changing, which it should be, right? Because you've got a short list. Means you're watching them. If you're watching them and one of them's form drops off, or you see something. As an example, I think that a few clubs probably have Glasner has dropped off of the radar with a few clubs, right? And it could be multiple things. The way that Glasner conducted himself around Crystal Palace, who is current employer, if I'm an employer, I'm looking at that and going, do you know what, bro? I don't know if I could work with you, right? The day that we sell Mark Gahey, for you to come out and say that you're leaving, right? Another one, I heard that Man United did want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to come back in, right? Yeah. But the day that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had the talks with Man United, his team started going to journalists and telling journalists, he's going. Now, Man United at the moment apparently are trying to close off all routes out to journalists. So when they've seen him do that, they've gone, you know what? You're not the type of manager we want anymore. So I think so for me, there's one manager that I don't know why, and I don't think he's managed a top level, a high enough level yet, but I do like the look of it. And that's Cesc Fabregas. I don't think I totally understand. Cesc Fabregas has achieved less than Vincent Kompany, right? And is less experienced than Vincent Kompany. But there's something about Cesc Fabregas that I think could be very special given the right group of players.
Yeah, I think Cesc is a good manager. I think he is doing very, very well with Como for where they are on the table and whatever. But don't you think that he's more likely to go to Arsenal than come to City? And also that, again, this is what I'm talking about as well, is that people, I don't know what is with Vincent Kompany. I don't know if it's a name thing or because it's at Burnley or something, but I just feel like he gets underplayed. I think he's more ready than Maresca. I think he's more ready than Alonso. I think he's more ready than Fabregas. he's more than a lot of these managers that we're talking about on the shortlist.
If we were to, apart from the one, obviously the one that's ready is Enrique. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, Enrique's, and for me, probably I would say
he's my favourite. He's my
100%.
Yeah. Enrique is my favourite, and I do actually think that Enrique could be put like. Enrique has no like beautiful history with PSG, right? It's just an agreement. So I do think like you could get Enrique away from PSG, just like you could get Pep away from Bayern Munich, right? We managed to do that one. I do think, and he's pretty much achieved everything he can with PSG now, right? He probably doesn't see too much of a challenge in the French league every single season. And Enrique has won trebles now in 2 countries. They probably would like to go, do you know what? Let me be the first manager to do it in 3 countries. But apart from Enrique, I agree with you that I think Vincent Kompany, if you actually look at it, he's more experienced than Maresca and Fabregas. He is like, and he's managed in the Premier League, he's managed in the Championship. Now he's been successful with a good team in the Bundesliga. He's managed in the Champions League. Like, so yeah, I hear it. I just feel like if it was to be this summer, it's one summer too early for Vincent Kompany. I
think also we got. I wouldn't like to be the manager after Pep. It's like Ferguson, the manager after Fergie. It's a hard act to follow, very hard.
But that's where it's probably quite interesting that's where the thing that Sam Motwell did say was that it's Khaldoon and Viana that are going to be making the decision. It's probably very important that it isn't Pep that makes the decision, right? Because it was Fergie that made that decision, right? And it was a stinky decision. I feel like if it was to be confirmed, Pep is seeing out his contract till summer 27. I think it then might be Vincent Kompany.
Vincent Kompany, yeah.
If it's
that's
this
the thing.
summer,
I was gonna say that if Pep goes this summer, let's say in the hypothetical world, and if it's too early for Vincent Kompany, and let's say we get maybe Maresca's in the summer, wherever, or whoever is in, that person will still be in management probably for at least 2-3 years. Don't you think then Vincent Kompany might have moved on to another club, might have gone to his next challenge?
Yeah.
I'll give you
longer.
But at the same time, we can't wait for Vincent Kompany. We must, if Pep says, and this is where I think the conversation this summer has to be quite important between the club and Pep, right? That I believe that maybe a couple of years ago, Pep was ready to go. Or maybe even last season, Pep was ready to go. But he stayed to help out the club, right? Go through this transition. Now, if Pep's heart is not in it, I don't want Pep to stay to help out the club. Right? I don't feel that's right. If Pep's heart is not in it. Now, but the thing is, I think Pep's heart probably is always going to be in football. So, I don't know. It's a weird one. I mean, if Pep was to turn around, and because I think it's so important we look at where we are, because after we drop points to Tottenham, it's easy to kind of be very negative. After getting to a cup final, we're now here in one cup final, which showed if we can get to the cup final of the Carabao Cup, we can certainly get to the cup final of the FA Cup, right? Yeah. That's 2 cup finals. 2 cup finals. If we then go on a bit of a run in the Champions League and we continue to stay there or thereabouts in this title race, right? Look, I don't think we're going to win the league this season, but stranger things have happened at sea, right?
I agree with you.
We beat Arsenal in that Carabao Cup final, and who knows what might happen after that? Yeah. So I will go back to the treble season and say mid-February treble season, I didn't think we were going to win anything. Right? We ended up winning all 3 trophies. So it would be very easy right now to go, do you know what? Actually, I think now might be the time for Pep to go. All of a sudden, Pep wins a treble.
It's going to be very, very hard because the quality of team we had when we won the treble is a lot different to the new players we've got coming in. A lot better. But we've got a load of new players come in, more or less all at the same time. And I just think it's too big a jump.
But what if I throw a curveball now? So if we do, because I was thinking about that yesterday, Daps, where it's easy for us to win multiple trophies this season. Two cups, whatever it may be. If we do the treble, let's say, that would be amazing. Does Pep then say, okay, I'm gonna leave on a high and let the next one come in? I think that's what he should do.
Yeah,
personally.
Bro,
if that happens, that is.
And that shows, right? It just shows you how a couple of months can make such a difference, but the outcome can be the same, right? Because if ultimately we lose the final, we don't get to the final of the FA Cup, we get knocked out in the last 16 of the Champions League, and we continue to look under par in the league, and we end up losing the league by 6 to 9 points, then it could be maybe it's the right time for Pep to go based on us not looking good enough. The same way, if he wins everything, it could also be, you know what, actually, this squad is now ready, and it's the perfect time to hand over to someone else. I hear what you're saying. I don't know. I know some people don't always believe in the board. For me, I'm very much let's fucking drop it till the summer. The board will continue to do what they're doing behind the scenes and have these meetings with different managers, speak with different managers, and at some point a decision will be made between Pep and the board. And I do think they'll make the right decision. I think if Pep is not showing the right level of enthusiasm, I do think Khaldoon and Viana would pick up.
I think Khaldoon and Viana are doing the right thing by shopping around, having a look, sounding people out. Because it's not like a 1 minute Pep's there, next minute it's gone, then you just hire a manager straight away. These things are planned. And you're choosing the right person for the club. So they need to go around and have a look at people. Remember, when we had Pellegrini, when he came in after Mancini, he came in because the long-term objective was to get Pep, but Pep wasn't ready there. But we weren't ready for Pep. And when we were, we ditched Pellegrini straight away and got him.
Yeah. Well, look, the thing is, I was saying this to Martin yesterday, that although to us it's a football club, it is a business, right?
Of course it is.
And success, and like ultimately, if the thing was to win a treble, do a 4P, and then give up on football, right? That isn't how businesses work, right? Businesses set new objectives, right? And new long-term goals, right? And for that to work, there always has to be a succession plan, right?
Yeah.
This is a multi-million pound business. There must be a succession plan, right? Like the board will, I mean, I would imagine Khaldoon and Viana already have a decision in their head. Do we want a manager that is going to continue to play the same way as Pep? Right? They'll already know that. They'll know the answer in their own head, whether they want to continue like that. Now, I personally do think by the signings they've made, maybe that isn't the plan. Maybe the plan is that they do want to, they do want to entertain the fans with a different type of football, right? They do want to maybe, and the mad thing is that when we talk about a Pep style of football, we have to remember it was Pep Guardiola that brought us the 100-point season. It was Pep Guardiola that brought us the Centurions, which is probably the most attractive football I have seen in Premier League history. For me personally, like that was like, there'll always be this debate, which one was better, the treble season or the 100-point season or this. But for me, that one was more attractive to watch, right? This one was maybe a bit more effective against teams like Inter Milan, right? There's the difference. One last thing I want to speak on, and by the way, really good show. We're definitely going to get you two back on more often. The Marmush thing, the Marmush and Haaland thing, right? Marmush probably, I mean, has Marmush made himself undroppable for the Liverpool game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know,
It pains me. My dream, I have a lot of dreams, as you could see, is to get Haaland and Marmush on the pitch at the same time.
That's
I think we need to figure out that, because I think that's deadly. That's completely deadly, because as you rightfully said earlier on, in areas where Haaland is weaker, I don't think his link-up play is bad. Marmush picks up in that area, and then Haaland is just there to finish. And I think if we could develop that partnership, I don't know what the vision is, but that's where it needs to be. But I think based on form, no, Haaland came on yesterday and looked really good. He had 2 opportunities. They were well saved by the keeper.
Yeah. He did look, Haaland, and that's the thing. Haaland did look sharp when he came on yesterday.
He did. He looked hungry.
Yeah.
So, but I think just based off of momentum right now, I think Marmush is the safer start against Liverpool. Although I love Haaland. I'm on Haaland jersey. He's my favorite player. But I think
I know one person might disagree with you. A guy called Paul Peel might disagree with you on that.
Let's just look at this.
I agree with you. I agree.
But let's just look at this quick, right? So if we were to play, and I'm just thinking in my head now, if we were to, right, let's say we play Aït-Nouri on the left, yeah? We play Nunez on the right. And they are playing as kind of, well, at least one of them is playing almost like a wing back, or maybe even they're taking it in turns to play as wing backs, right? In midfield, in defense, you play Guehi and Diaz or Kuzanov, whichever one. And then in midfield, you play Gonzalez. Sorry, I'm just thinking. So that's the 3, 4, 5, 6. You play Gonzalez and you play O'Reilly, right? So that when these 2 are going forward, exactly what O'Reilly was doing yesterday. He was slotting in between the 2 centre-backs, right? O'Reilly can make that back 3. That's what we were seeing yesterday. You then play Gonzalez, O'Reilly. Count how many players have I said so far? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 4 players left. You then play Marmush, Haaland, Semenyo, Cherky, or Reijnders.
That's what I was thinking. I feel like it shouldn't be that hard though, because we signed Marmush from Frankfurt, who was a second striker. He wasn't playing striker for Frankfurt. He was playing behind Ekitike. And I thought that's how he was going to join City and play like that, maybe behind Haaland, a bit like Alvarez did for a few games as well.
I just personally think with that, we've got everything there, right? Because, and it does mean, and this is where Polpy or Martin would tell me, but Pep isn't going to not play Rodri and Bernardo. And I do hear what he's saying. But me personally, from what I've seen this season, Rodri and Bernardo, because they've both, like Bernardo has had some really good games this season,
Even against Spurs, I think it was good.
Yeah. But for me, Rodri and Bernardo, they can come on and see games out. At the moment, we have this issue in the second half. They can come on and see games out. However, right, if we play with Nunez and Aït-Nouri giving us the width, right, it then means that Marmush and Semenyo don't need to play as wingers. They can play as inside forwards. Now, I'm 100% now going down the Pep Lijnders line of football, right? But we do have Pep Lijnders, and we are buying these players that suit Pep Lijnders, right? Yeah. We have Semenyo, we have Marmush. They are both inside forwards, yeah? Neither of them are touchline wingers. So off of Marmush, I think you can play them. You then have Cherky to be the creative guy between them, behind him. But also Aït-Nouri and Nunez are also the creative guys on the wing now. And then you just have, and let's be honest, O'Reilly is almost like a I think O'Reilly will probably end up as a box-to-box midfielder, right? That's probably where the long game when he gets older, he'll be a box-to-box midfielder. Why? Because he's physical. He can do that. I mean, he's a bit Yaya-esque, right? As far as he can do the physical
thing. He's very physical.
But he can also drive with the ball, and he can also strike a ball and create a lot of havoc in the box. So he'll be the box-to-box. And Gonzalez just sits. Now, Gonzalez is the key to it for me, because Gonzalez is not the same as Rodri. Gonzalez is an absolute duel winner. Rodri has never been a duel winner. Rodri is a tempo setter, right? Gonzalez, I don't believe is a tempo setter. He's a duel winner that can pass the ball, right?
Yeah.
He's a Spanish duel winner, which as a Spanish footballer, you naturally can pass the ball, but for me, Gonzalez can sit deeper and just protect that back line. I think it could work. I think there is a world where we can play Haaland, Marmush, and Semenyo.
I really think especially because Bernardo Silva is apparently a serious doubt for that game as well. So I doubt that he will even start that game.
Doku's doubtful, isn't he, as well, for the weekend? So
I think Doku is definitely.
I think Doku is the only. I mean, there's a conversation like that behind behind the front three, it's who do you play there? Do you play Cherki there? Do you play Reijnders there? Or do you play Foden there? Now, for me, it's not a conversation. You play Cherki there, right?
Yeah.
Reijnders has been good. And I think Reijnders, but I think Reijnders' best position is like almost as a second striker.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's coming with a bit of a wrong, interpretation. People think that he's a box-to-box player. Supposed to come when he came in, supposed to be that he's supposed to be like the box-to-box midfielder, a bit like Declan Rice, be physical, whatever. But he plays best when he's as close as he can to goal. And we saw against Chelsea that amazing finish where he ball rolled it and smashed it in their post against Chelsea in the 1-1.
Yeah.
He's very, very good in front of goal.
Yeah, he is. I mean, to be fair, by the way, he would have scored a second yesterday, but that was a great save from Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Right? So there's been a few. Do you know what? Recently, that's another thing that's happened with us recently. I don't want to turn into Pep and Rodri talking about decisions. Bro, we've had a few teams have made saves and we haven't got corners recently a few times. Like there was one in the Tottenham game as well where the Tottenham keeper made a fucking unbelievable save. From Cherki. We didn't get the corner. But no, so I do think there is a world where, and here's the thing, I don't believe we bought Marmush for it to be Marmush or Haaland. I think we bought Marmush for it to be Marmush and Haaland.
And yeah.
I do think that. And I think Semenyo as well. The only one that throws it is Doku, because then Doku changes how we play.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but those two are definitely, they're not touchline wingers, they're inside forwards, so they can play.
I think we're missing Doku though. I think we're so much more missing Doku, especially against that Tottenham game, man. We should have had Doku for that game. Doku throws because I actually like the idea of that front three of Haaland, Semenyo, and Marmush. Sorry, the other way round. And I am really starting to like Gonzalez and O'Reilly, which then leaves one position. And that's the Cherki position. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, Foden and Reijnders are going to have to be players off the bench for me at the moment.
Yep, agreed.
I think with Foden, what happened early on, at least on our side, is we thought that Foden would be that creative replacement. But he's not. I don't think he has that creative ability that Cherki has. I think Foden wants to score. I think he's more a gunman. I think any opportunity he gets, he wants to go to goal.
Yeah.
He can create. We've seen it, but I don't think he has it on a consistent basis. And as you mentioned earlier, Daps, I think his better role is really in that deeper role, just to keep the ball moving and get it into those creative players, you know?
And the sad thing is with that is that Foden played that role will be a very selfless role. Right. And it will mean that people continue to probably say, oh, Foden hasn't had a good game. But Foden, for me, I've always said it, I like Foden in the 8 role because Foden can turn and he can move the ball quickly. Everything that everyone wants, the ball moving quickly, Foden can do, right? Foden actually struggles when we're moving the ball slowly. Foden plays best when we are playing fast, fluid football, right? To get the best out of Foden, we have to play that style of football. The slow football does not suit Foden at all. It really doesn't. Really doesn't. Right, people, we're going to wrap it up here, but really appreciate everyone coming on. Alan, really appreciate you being here as always.
No worries.
Yusuf, really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, man.
And Lee, you really appreciate you being here. Guys, have you both... I know one of you's got channels. Have you both got channels or? Yeah,
so I have a channel called The Interception. We don't cover Man City stuff. We cover Trinidad football stuff, but you can still check it out. Yeah.
Okay. And Yusuf, your channel
is? Of course, Break the Press. So you'll find it on YouTube, Break the Press podcast. If you search up, you'll find it.
Okay, brilliant. Right, people, I am probably going to be back later on today, potentially with quite a big panel. I'm just trying to put it together. I was due to be going down to Box Park for an interview, but I actually can't be bothered leaving the house. It's pissing it down over here, and I can't be bothered leaving my house. So. But this is going to redirect over to Never a Foul, so say where you are, and we're going to have Arsenal fans telling us that they're going to win the Carabao Cup, of course. So until then, we're out. Love, people.